Alright, we're going to compare and order integers. So I got my number line there, just like when we were talking about introducing integers. And so, as you move to the right, the values get greater. And as you move to the left, values get less. So, it doesn't matter if you're working in the positives or negative. If the number's to the left, it's less. If the number's to the right, it is greater. So, when we compare numbers, we have negative 12 and negative 7. Well, those aren't on my number line, but negative 12 would be to the left of negative 7. So that makes negative 12 less than negative 7. When you look at the next one, negative 18 and 2, well, 2 is on my number line, and it's on the right side of the 0. Well, any negative is going to be on the left. So that makes negative 18 less than 2. Another way to think about that, well, we'll talk about it on the next one. So I got negative 1 and negative 15. So negative 1 would be to the right of negative 15. So negative 1 would be greater than negative 15. Another way to think about this is, would you rather owe me $1 or $15? Most people would rather only owe me $1, which means they owe me less than if they were to owe me $15. So when you're thinking of negatives, the number that is greater is like owing less money. Alright, so now we're going to order from least to greatest. So make sure when you're doing order, you're paying attention to which way to go. Least to greatest or greatest to least. So in this case, we're going least to greatest. So anytime you have a negative number, those are always going to be your least numbers. So in that first one, I only have one negative number. So that's going to come first. The next would be 0. And then 2 and 5, those are easy for you guys to compare. Obviously 2 is less than 5. Alright, so for the next one, I have two negative numbers in that one, negative 15 and negative 4. So those are always going to be your least or your negatives. So I have to think, negative 15 or negative 4, which one's less? And negative 15 would be to the left of negative 4, so that makes it the least. So I got negative 15, then negative 4, and then I have 3 and 15. Well, 3 is less than 15. Alright, and just so we have practice doing it the other way, we're going to order from greatest to least. Like I said, you need to pay attention which way you're going. So this time we're going from greatest to least. So looking at that first one, negative 13, negative 18, negative 2, and 1. We want the greatest number, and greatest number is always going to be your positives. And I only have one positive there, which is 1. Now I need to look at my negatives and find which is the greatest of the negatives. So the greatest of the negatives is actually going to be the lowest number there, which would be negative 2. The next lowest digit would be negative 13, and then negative 18. So when you're working with negatives, you got to think backwards. Alright, so for the next one, I'm going greatest to least. So again, look at your positives. I have 15 and 18. Well, 18 is greater than 15, so that comes first. And then I look at the negative 12 and negative 5. And I think, would I rather owe somebody $5 or $12? Well, I'd rather only owe them 5, so that's going to be greater than negative 12. So I have 18, 15, negative 5, and then negative 12.